Hi guys, it's Nancy here and I am back for an ultra process video. I have shared this layout already in a layout share, but I had filmed a video and just for some reason I'd never shown it. So this was for a challenge that was up on the Like Forever Kit Club, and it's what they call a tic-tac-toe challenge, and I picked a line which was stamps, navy and sequins, and this was kind of what kick-started me on scrapping my 2016 pages. And these are a couple of silly photos, or 3 silly photos of me in a hat I made, and this is while I was on holiday in Scotland. So I have used that American Crafts pad that I brought from Target, and it had a beautiful navy in, and I knew that I wanted to use that. But it also had a beautiful bright pink, and as the hat was pink, I decided I needed to go with that. So I'm just mounting up my photos here, and I've picked out this older Heidi Swap piece of paper as well. This is a proper diving in my stash to find out. So I've mounted one of them on a navy piece just to make it pop a little bit, and next thing was using stamps. I have been a little bit lax in using stamps. I have so many stamps and I'm aiming to do lots more with them, so do watch out because that is something I'm planning on doing. So this is a stamp my friend Karen gave me, and it's a Kaisercraft one, and they have wonderful stamps. And I'm doing something a little bit different with it here. I am using some acrylic paint. This is just some Adirondack, however you say it, pink acrylic, and I'm just using the dobber end just to stamp it on, and this is kind of like a broken chevron. I'm just creating a little bit of background texture, the same as I would do with my stamps and things like my masks and things. And I know that I'm going to kind of cluster my photos. And I really like the matte texture you get from using acrylic paint as well. So I'm just stamping that around and kind of just thinking, yeah, I think this is going to show, because we all know what I'm like when I do my backgrounds. I end up covering half of it up anyway. So I do end up just cleaning my stamp off, because acrylic paint is a pain in the butt when it dries. I'm using a mixture of roller stamps. This is an Amy Tangerine one, and I'm using the bit that says created, so I've just taken the date part off, and I'm just putting the created, and I'm just stamping that directly over that paint. The great thing about acrylic paint is because it dries so quickly. So I'm just stamping that around, and again I'm using the Chipped Sapphire ink, which is a navy ink. So it's pulling out that navy. And I really like the combination of navy and pink. So I'm super happy with how that looks, and now I'm going to look at adding my photos on. And these are just, as I said, some silly selfies. I'm just penciling around where my photos are going to go, so I can start laying sequins on. This is a technique that I've done quite a bit. I've done it in the past in different albums, and that is where I just kind of create a sort of texture, a background texture, a clump of sequins. And I do that merely by using my wet glue. I use Cosmic Shimmer glue, and then I'm just pressing down my sequins into it. You do, of course, use quite a bit of glue, but it's actually a really quick way of getting them stuck down. So again, I'm just adding a mixture of sequins in here, and again, these are pinks and greens and blues. And I love sequins, they're very pretty, but I don't use them that often. So again, this is another part of my 2016 stash busting, which I must say is not going brilliantly at the moment, because I currently have 2 Like Forever kits sitting there still in the box, not touched. So really need to get on that one. But yeah, I really liked doing this challenge. I found it a really good thing because it wasn't too prescribed. You could kind of take it how you wanted. So that is those stuck down. I just left that to dry, and I'm now just taking another stamp from my stash and using that navy ink, just adding some little navy triangle confetti pieces around. and it's creating a few sort of lines and stuff because I'm being a bit of a haphazard, but I kind of like how it looks. It looks kind of pixelated and blurred. So I've just created 3 clusters of the sequins, and I also added some gold mist while I left it to dry. You do put quite a layer of glue down, so I probably left this about 25 minutes, half an hour to dry, which is probably why I don't do much multimedia, mixed media bits and pieces, because I'm really impatient. Just can't be bothered to wait for it to dry. I take about, half an hour to do my layouts, maybe 40 minutes. So to just hang around and wait to dry, I don't enjoy that. So I realised when I was laying that photo down there was going to be a little bit of a weird gap. So just adding a little bit more glue and adding some more sequins in there. And again, this is just something that you could kind of get a bit carried away with by just adding more and more and more sequins. And the great thing about just putting that glue down and squishing them all into it is you kind of just, it adds a texture, but not too much of a texture, because as you all know, I do overstuff my albums anyway, but I'm trying where possible to not make them too dimensional. So just going to fuss around adding a few more sequins on here. And as I said, this wet glue is my favourite wet glue. I've probably been using it about 3 or 4 years now, and I just find it super easy. It does clog and you get little glue bogies in it, but I can cope with that. It's just something I need to cope with. So I'm using this pin flare glue, which is actually silicone glue, to stick this other photo down, because I wanted to have a little bit of height so it goes over the sequins, but I couldn't be bothered with foam pads and different bits and pieces. So I just use a little bit of silicone glue, which again is not something I use that often, but it has its uses in my stash. So I'm just looking for a few different bits and pieces here, and just seeing if I can add these. I believe these are from the Dear Lizzie documented, I think it is, and I'm just seeing if I've got any little bits and pieces that I can add here. And I see these flowers, and so I am just going to fussy cut around those. Probably went more kind of purpley sort of pink with this, but it's not a normal colour tone for me, but I do kind of quite like it. This definitely has inspired me to actually maybe do a few more challenges. I can't do sketches, it doesn't work for me, I find them far too stressful, but maybe doing a few more challenges and different things like that, maybe something I need to look into. Basically I need to clear my desk first before I can do anything. So I'm just looking here at just moving these bits and pieces around. But decided not to add those. That's it. I was thinking that didn't look right. But I did fussy cut some flowers out from the other American crafts pad to stick those round. Super simple. I do love fussy cutting some flowers. If you saw my National Scrapbooking Day UK video hop, you'll see that I spent a vast amount of time cutting flowers out then. Something I kind of like doing. Do love fussy cutting. So I'm then just using this blue turquoise glittery alpha, and this actually came in the first Like Forever kit that I ever got, and I'm just using that to put down my title, which is Kitty Hat, but I am going to just move that round because there's a little bit of empty space above that top photo, so I'm just going to split my title up over those 2 points, and I quite like a split title as well. So that is it. Thank you very much guys for watching, and I promise I'll be back very, very soon. Promise!